Welcome to the Phoenix Convention Center, home of Super Bowl 49's Media Center. I'm Mike Petraglia, joined as always by Patriots expert columnist for WVEI.com, Christopher Price. All right, Chris, this is really the day when both Super Bowl teams, competing teams, try to get down to business as usual. It's Wednesday, just like a Wednesday before a regular Sunday afternoon game. Teams are trying to get their prep in, trying to really install the game plan. Bill Belichick talked about that today, about 10-12 miles south of here in Chandler at the team's Super Bowl media headquarters. What were your takeaways from what Bill Belichick had to say about getting down to business?
I think that's a very good point. It's basically, that's very well put. It's business as usual, or at least as close to as usual as you can have out here in the desert. The Patriots, big work day on Wednesday, big work day on Thursday. You kind of ease back on Friday, looking to kind of get ready for the game on Sunday. One thing I think is interesting, logistically, this team has not had a chance to play in University of Phoenix Stadium since Super Bowl 42. The Seahawks are there once a year. It's an NFC West location, so they're a little bit more familiar with the little things, the logistical things. I think the Patriots would be well served by taking some time to be able to go through just all of the little stuff that you have to worry about in situations like that. Exactly, sightlines, scoreboard locations, all that. Talked to some of the guys today and yesterday as well. You take a few extra minutes going out on the field, not only stretching, but kind of taking everything and making sure you know where everything is. The clocks, the scoreboard, the overall atmosphere, it all plays a role in this, and it's going to be very important. Everything is important on Super Bowl Sunday, but it's going to be all the more important this time.
Side note, the Patriots, last time they were here for Super Bowl 42, of course, in Glendale, they did not practice at the Cardinals facility like they are this week, Chris. They practice at Sun Devil Stadium down the road in Tempe. So that changes. Obviously, they hope something else changes. That would be the outcome of the Super Bowl at University of Phoenix Stadium. But Bill Belichick opened his press conference today taking a question about a subject I think is pretty fascinating in this game. Usually it's the quarterbacks of the Super Bowl that garner so much attention. In this game, you're talking about arguably the two best premier cornerbacks, corner defensive backs in football. That would be Richard Sherman of the Seahawks and, of course, Darrelle Revis for the Patriots. And Bill Belichick said they're great players, but they play in different schemes.
Yeah, exactly. You're talking about a guy in Sherman who plays almost exclusively on side. They do a lot of man stuff. Well, Revis has a little bit more versatility. That's not to say one is necessarily better than another. It's just different systems. It's just different approaches and styles, coaching techniques and whatnot. I do think that Revis and Sherman have really a great rivalry, and I'm fascinated to see how these guys go about conducting the business. They've been great all week. We've tried to start a little fire between them, us and the media, but I don't think any of those guys are biting. I think the biggest, at least pregame story, as it relates specifically between these two teams, a lot of people are trying to jump on LeGarrette and Blount, and they're talking about, the Seahawks are immortal. I hardly think they're qualified as trash talking, but a lot of people are starting to pick up on that.
I know you talked about this on the radio side, but there's an interesting prop bet going on in Vegas. How many times? What's the over-under that Tom Brady throws on Richard Sherman?
I think it's going to be interesting because you're looking at a Patriots team that, in my mind, does a pretty good job when it comes to beating man-to-man coverage for a few reasons, not the least of which they run those pick plays, those rub routes underneath to get separation for smaller receivers like Julian Edelman, Danny Amendola. I don't think they're going to be throwing directly at Sherman, but I think they're going to be able to get a little bit of separation if one of them is on Sherman. I think Sherman is going to be on the outside, whether it's Bell or if Vereen is involved in three-snap motion or if Gronkowski's out there, whoever. I don't think they're going to be underneath, but I think that's one of the things that they're going to use to try and get some separation on Sherman. If they can get separation on Sherman, then I think they're going to throw at him maybe a little bit more than we think.
Was in on the scrum with Darrelle Revis, and yes, a couple of reporters tried to get him, bait him, if you will, into the Darrelle Revis, Richard Sherman matchup, and he said, to your point, we're not playing against each other. I mean, you hear it all the time in sports when one great player goes up against another. Well, if they're not on the field at the same time, it's really a moot point, and that was Revis's point.
Yeah, exactly, and I think that he has done a fairly good job in terms of diffusing any sort of talk between the two of them, between their legacies, talking about their place in the game. Sherman's doing the same thing, at least as it relates to Revis. So, there's still a lot of time in the lead up before the game, but at this point, both quarterbacks are conducting themselves pretty much the way we thought they would.
All right, let's talk about a subject that I find pretty funny. It was one of the lighthearted moments I had a chance to ask Vince Wilfork if he's noticed any differences in Bill Belichick over the 11 years he's known him. Obviously, he's known him since the last time he won a Super Bowl, 2004. Wilfork was a rookie. And Wilford told me that Bill Belichick is softer now. He has a soft heart. When you hear words like that, what does it mean to you when a player like that describes Bill Belichick and the transition over the years and how Belichick has evolved?
I've talked to a few guys about that, dating back to his time in Cleveland, dating back to his time with the Jets. I think what Vince was trying to get at, I don't want to presume to speak for him, but I think one of the things that Vince was trying to get at was he's not as dogmatic as he used to be. He's not as single-minded in terms of his, my way or the highway approach. I think he's a little bit more willing to listen to some outside voices, to listen to some advisors, to listen to some players as well, some captains. They have those captains meetings on a fairly regular basis. I believe that's what Vince was trying to get at when you're talking about how Belichick has grown and evolved and become a different coach.
Matthew Slater told me, Chris, on Wednesday, that he thinks the one thing about Belichick he's noticed, he's more appreciative. He says thank you a lot more and really appreciates the players going through what they're going through, because I think Belichick realizes that football is really a fleeting sport, and a lot of these guys put their lives, their careers, their health on the line for something they love to do, and I think Belichick appreciates that. Look, let's move on to the running game. You mentioned LeGarrette a little while ago, and the running back by committee. I know you're writing about this on the BEI.com. Patriots are really trying to establish some history here.
They really are. You're looking at a Patriots team, specifically the running game. They have a chance to do something that no other Super Bowl team has done since the 1987 Redskins, and that they could have 4 guys reach 40 carries or more. They've already had 4 guys reach 40 carries or more over the course of the regular season, but they would be the first Super Bowl team to do that in a pass-first era, where so much of the success of any Super Bowl team is wrapped up in the ability of the quarterback to get the ball out of his hands to any variety of pass catches. The idea of a diverse running game, being able to rise above and help power a team toward a Super Bowl, I think is pretty extraordinary no matter what era you're in. You could even dismiss the 1987 Redskins because that was a strike year. Before that, the 1981 49ers had 5 guys with 40 or more carries over the course of the regular season. So just a little statistical note, as it relates to this Patriots team, the running game, they do have a chance to make history if the Patriots can finish things off Sunday against the Seahawks.
A stand-up, a report here in Phoenix about this Super Bowl wouldn't be complete without a Rob Gronkowski update. I thought an interesting takeaway from what Gronk had to say on Wednesday here in Phoenix, actually down the road in Chandler, was the fact that, yes, there's been a lot of talk about my party bus, no dudes on the party bus, only girls and whatnot, and blah, blah, blah. But he also turned serious for a moment and said, that doesn't mean I don't take this game seriously. I know it's my livelihood, and I love the game, and I work hard at it.
Yeah, I think it's a more... You don't want to use the word sobering and Rob Gronkowski in the same sense. Well, you want to make sure you put some context to that. But this is a more sobering Rob Gronkowski, a more straightforward Rob Gronkowski. He's had his fun over the last couple days with us in the media day today. Lots of stories, lots of jokes, all that. I honestly believe you're looking at a guy who saw his own football mortality over the last year plus. And I think he realizes who he is. I think he realizes that moments like this one, they don't come around all that often. Even if you're 25, you're not going to be 25 your entire life. Considered his football mortality, and I think he got a glimpse of that. And you got to seize the moment. You have to take every moment seriously. You can have some fun with it, but at the same time, you have to realize the gravity of the situation.
And Bill Belichick also made reference to that and said, look, Gronkowski's work ethic, his passion for the game is what has really inspired him to come back from those injuries and really makes him the player he is.
Exactly, and we look past the numbers, and you look at Gronk and the cartoon character, and then the sideshow that is Rob Gronkowski, especially in weeks like this. You forget how good he is. You forget how impactful a player he can be from time to time. You're looking at one of the guys who, if he can stay healthy over the next 5 to 8 years, I honestly believe will go down as one of the great tight ends in this league.
What do the Patriots have to do in the next couple of days to really zone in on preparations? This is their 6th Super Bowl under Belichick, but is this any different?
I think it's a great point, Mike. I think when you're talking about this team, and the last time they were here, February 2008, everyone to a man in retrospect said, we had a lousy week of practice. Our focus was all over the place. It wasn't where it needed to be. I'm fascinated to talk to these guys Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You're not going to get them Saturday, but Thursday and Friday, and get a sense of how practice is going. Get a sense of where their focus is. Are they where they need to be mentally, physically going into this game? Super Bowl 42, it turned out that they were nowhere near where they needed to be going into that game. They paid the price. I'm fascinated to see how this team responds this time around.
All right, we'll be back at it here on Thursday as the Patriots and Seahawks Seahawks make themselves available to the media. Of course, we have complete team coverage down here in Phoenix. John Tomasi is with the Seahawks down the road in Tempe. You, Chris, me, and Ryan Hannibal with the Patriots in Chandler. And Jerry Thornton is here bringing the color of the media circus that is Super Bowl 49. Complete team coverage. Catch it all on the Patriots page on WEEI.com. At the Phoenix Convention Center, home of Super Bowl 49's Media Center. Christopher Price, I'm Mike Petraglia, WEEI.com.